Hello guys, this is your friend. We are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if the exiled Naruto Konoichi returns with a waifu I part 3. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start a new fanfic. The nins rushed Naruto, who performed his swamp of the underworld technique, causing the nins that charged in blindly to sink into the muddy swamp. Naruto's hand seals we fast for the eye. When he brought his hands together, it was evident that he was going to perform a fire technique, Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu. The flames incinerated a third of the nins at the camp. Naruto gripped his sword. He unsheathed the sword and ran at the rain nins with blinding speed. They never knew what hit them. Blood was flying everywhere as he cut thrug after nin. His movements were so fluid and graceful that he made a massacre look like a thing of beauty. One nin shot water spikes at Naruto. The spikes hit him in the back, ca to drop to his knees. Aoi and the 20 or so nins that were left surrounded him. Aoi walked up to him. I have to admit, you're good for doing what you did. You reduced us to only 23 nins before we stopped you. Aoi pulled the sword off of his back, pointed at Naruto's face. This sword belongs to the Leaf's Nadaime. It's the legendary chakra sword. You should feel honored to die by it, since I rarely use it on opponents but close to 100 of my men, so you will die here. Naruto laughed at the man. I don't think I will be dying. But before I go, you should look to your left. Naruto disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Aoi side-flipped, avoiding the water dragon that engulfed 20 of his nins, leaving him with 2. Naruto looked at Aoi. He motioned for others to attack. They ran at Naruto. When they got close, Naruto smiled. He then blew up in front of them, causing them to be obliterated. Aoi narrowed his eyes, knowing that Naruto was behind him. So you know Kage Bushin and Bushin Bakua, impressive. But you won't win. This sword will be red with your blood. Aoi licked his lips when he finished. Naruto wasted no time attacking Aoi. Both engaged in a sword duel. Aoi swung at Naruto, who dodged and blurred out of sight. Before Aoi could act, he felt a sharp pain in his eyes widened. He coughed up blood. When he looked down, he knew the reason why he was coughing up blood. It was because Naruto's sword was sticking through the right abdomen. Naruto pulled out his sword, causing Aoi drop to the ground. Naruto stepped over the man and head in the direction of Earth Country. The field he was leaving would have made lose their lunch. Arms, legs, heads, and bodies decorated the field a few feet away from the camp. The grass was now red with the blood of nins. Naruto continued to walk. We noticed that a teen about his age, injured to the point that he couldn't defend himself. Naruto looked at him. You will tell what happened here. The young nin nodded. Vigorous body flickered, leaving behind smoke. Around nightfall, Naruto arrived at a stream. His body was covered with the blood of the shinobi he killed at about noon. Naruto washed himself and changed into clean clothes pulled from his backpack. Naruto put the clothes on. He sat by the edge of the stream and cleansed his sword. Naruto knew that he had the advantage. Naruto had traced the rain. His guess as to why they left behind trails was because they didn't think anyone would follow them. Naruto had decided to rest for 3 hours before heading out again. Naruto woke up the following morning and continued. He began to run into traps around midnight, which meant that the nins were probably resting. Finally, he was close. Now have to cover ground. Naruto figured he would close the gap while they slept. Naruto dug in his pouch to retrieve a soldier pill. When he finished swallowing the soldier pill, he immediately headed out. Naruto arrived at another campsite around 7 in the morning and saw that they were getting ready to leave. Naruto smiled when he saw one of the ninjas carry the girl out the tents. He found her, and that was all that mattered. Naruto positioned himself in the bushes so he could hear what was being said. We're heading to the village today. There will be no more stops. Okay men, clean this site up and let's head out. The ninjas pulled out scrolls and did a couple of hand seals, caused tents to be sucked into the scrolls. They placed the scrolls back in their pouches. The Junin Naruto figured to be the leader looked at Hayami with a sick smile. Your father will have to do what we say or you will die. Are you afraid of me, child? The man asked the little girl in his arms. The girl looked at him with no fear in her eyes. No. My brother will come for me and beat you guys up. He promised me that no matter what he would be there to help me we was in danger. Watch Naruto Nissen will deal with you, you just wait. It angered him that the child was unafraid of him. He raised his hand and slapped her hard. She grabbed her face and started to cry. Naruto was now furious but he didn't move, he wanted to keep the element of surprise. The rock nin gave a grin of satisfaction. Your friend will not be saving you, girl. He lied to you. The sad reality is that you're going to die if your father doesn't comply. The UK will have the pleasure of killing you. Me. And you will die a slow and painful death. The leader of the rock nins felt something behind him. Sensing danger, he threw the girl to his left while jumping to his right to avoid the sword that was aimed at his head. Na landed, then jumped next to Hayami. He knew that the nin would release the girl to save his own life. Naruto smirked at the nin. She's not going to die, not today anyway. The girl looked up to see the boy who promised to protect her. Her mouth opened up in a wide grin of happiness. Naruto Nissen, you came. Of course, I never go back on my word. Naruto smiled at the girl. Naruto bent down to the girl's height. I am proud of you, Hayami. You were brave. Now let me deal with them. Naruto raised his glowing hand by her heart. He then touched T, causing her to pass out. He then formed hand seals, causing a barrier to form over her. Once the squared purple barrier had encased her, Naruto's smile turned into an evil glare as he turned to the leader. You all will die at my hands. Naruto unsheathed his sword. He got into a stance and continued to glare at the nins. All of you are going to witness why the Minato clan is among the greatest when it comes to kenjutsus. Since you would go as far as kidnap an innocent girl to learn a few techniques, I will show you one. Get ready because school I begin. Naruto's body started to glow with chakra. The chakra extended to his sword. Naruto vanished, then suddenly appeared behind a nin he slashed. The nin tried to evade but was cut by trail of chakra that extended from the sword. Amatsu Kenjutsu, Kanshina no Sekiza, using this technique in conjunction with his speed made the technique difficult for the nins to avoid. In a matter of minutes, Naruto had cut down over 100 nins. The Junin Lee the last one standing when Naruto was done. The glow from the chakra that covered Naruto's sword and body faded away. Naruto looked at the leader who showed signs of fear. For slapping her, you will feel what she felt over. But for threaten her life you have forfeit your own. Naruto extended the sword in his right hand, channeling chakra through it. Amatsu Kenjutsu. Kumasora Eji. Naruto D slashes in the air causing visible blades of chakra to fly towards the nin. The rock nin didn't know what hit him. The nin looked at Naruto before falling to pieces. It would take time to identify him when their bodies were discovered. Naruto dropped the barrier that Hayami was in and walked over. He then picked her up gently. He quickly left the scene fearing that she might wake up and see all of those bod didn't want her to see people missing upper, lower torsos, heads, arms, and legs. Naruto was glad that he got to her before anything bad happened. He smiled and continued with the sleeping girl in his arms. Naruto was now far from campsite. The girl in his arms opened her eyes slightly to see that Naruto was carrying her. He looked down and smiled at her. She snuggled up into H. I knew you would protect me, Naruto Nissen. I'm so glad that you. She went back to sleep before she could finish. He just continued to look at her with a smile. I'm glad that too. End of flashback. Wow, Naruto Nissen, you took them all down with your sword. That is so cool. Konohamaru said. Sasuke studied Naruto. He wondered what type of kenjutsu that he could have learned that would allow him to eliminate over 100 nins. Naruto killing that many nins didn't imp Sasuke, because he knew that he could also do the same thing if the situation called for it. He just wished he knew more about Naruto's sword style. Naruto left the details ABO training with all of his sensei out, which angered Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto was now a mystery. He had no idea how strong he was, and that frustrated him. It was decided, when back he was going to up his training. You have surpassed me, Dobi, but the gap will be closed soon. Sasuke thought to himself. Hinata spoke. Naruto-kun, how did we use Kokoyu get out of Earth Country without running into Rock Nins and Rain Nins? Wise. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except Naruto responded to Hinata, I cut through Bird Country and headed to Suna. Gaara helped us get on a ship to T Country, where we hopped on another boat that took us to S Country. We arrived about a week after I killed those nins. Her father and her cousins will be closely watching her and the other kids, so something like this won't happen again. If it does, then she knows that I will be there. The captain came into the room that the group was in. We should be arriving in Rice Country in 10 minutes. Everyone gave him a nod and he headed back to the deck. 20 minutes, Naruto and company arrived in Rice Country. They stayed at a town near the docks and decided to head out at about 4 a.m. back to Konoha. It was now 11 p.m. and everyone was except Naruto. He was sitting on the roof of the hotel looking at the starry sky. Good night, Hayami. At the same time at the Minato mansion, good night, Naruto Nisan. The girl touched her fox necklace before rolling over on her side to get some sleep. Her brother would always be there for her, and that thought mad happy. On 11 a.m. the next day, the squad, led by Sasuke, arrived at the village gates. The team had left Rice Country at about 4 in the morning. Surprisingly, they didn't run into N territory. The squad walked up to the gates and was greeted by the two guards. Sasuke-san, I see you and your team has made it back safely. Hokage-sama requests that you and your squad see her immediately, one of the guards said, informing the Uch. Sasuke nodded. He and his squad continued, passing the guards who bowed and extended their hands signaling them to go. Everyone continued towards the Hokage tower. Konohamaru looked at Hanabi, who gave him curious look. What do you want? Slightly nervous. Well, I was wondering, I don't know, just maybe, just come out with it, I don't have all day, the young Hyuga said in a slightly aggravated tone. I was wondering if you would want to get some ramen with me after we go see Hokage-sama. Konohamaru asked. No, Hanabi simply said, causing Konohamaru to slouch in defeat. Udon whispered in his best friend's ear, why continue after the Hyuga when Moegi likes you? It's not like she's ugly. Moegi is like a sister, man. Konohamaru snapped at his friend. I'm just saying that there are other fish in the sea. You should try looking at the others. Udon suggested to Konohamaru. After 10 minutes of walking, the team finally arrived at the Tsunade's office. Shizune escorted them in. Hokage-sama, Sasuke and his team have returned. Yes, I can see that, Shizune. So, Sasuke, I assume the mission was successful? The Hokage asked. Yes, he reached in his scroll pouch and pulled out the scroll. Here it is, Hokage-sama. I will have a written report on your desk first thing in the morning. Sasuke stated. Tsunade stood up from her desk and looked at her pink-haired apprentice. Okay. Sakura, I expect you at the hospital by 3. Shizune, take that scroll to intelligence and have it X also. Tell that lazy strategist of mine that I expect a written report on advantages, disadvantages and possible attack patterns. Tell him I want it on my desk by tomorrow. Nod and left to complete the task that Tsunade assigned her. Tsunade looked at Naruto, you come with me. The rest of you are dismissed. Everyone filed out of the office, Naruto and Tsunade being the last. Tsunade and Naruto were walking towards the council room. Naruto looked at Tsunade. Oba-chan, what the hell is this about? Why do I need to see the council again? Naruto, they're concerned about what you did to those Rain Nins and Rock Nins last year and they want an explanation. I told them that you don't have to give one, but after KN your reason I think they should hear it. So I ordered this meeting so you can tell them. Tsunade informed the blonde. Whatever, it doesn't matter if they know or not. It seems like they're going to hate me no matter what I do. That might be true, but what you did was something that any decent person would have done. The Hokage said to offer him some comfort. Tsunade and Naruto entered the chambers. Naruto and Tsunade both took their seats. Tsunade looked around the room to see that all of the attention was focused on her. Eve called this meeting today so you all could hear Naruto's reasons for doing what he did in Rain and Earth Country. All of you have issues with what he did and only know part of T because Jiraiya wished not to tell you, for it was not his place to do so. I already know the reason and I feel that it was more than justifiable. However, this meeting is to put Yo at ease. If you have questions, ask him now because this will be the last time I call him before the council. Inuzuka Sumi was the first to speak. Naruto, Jiraiya has told us that you slaughtered all of those nins because a girl was taken hostage. Who exactly is this girl? She is my sensei, Minato Ryaho's daughter. Naruto answered. There were murmurs among the group. Shikaku decided to ask another question. Was it necessary to kill all of those nins? Yes. They wouldn't have given her up if I asked. Naruto responded. Inochi asked his question. Do you feel any remorse for killing those nins? Do you feel any remorse for killing all the nins you have killed? Naruto asked with a hint of annoyance and anger in his voice. Naruto. Inochi-san has asked you a question, answer it. Koharu demanded. I thought I told you that you do not command me. If you request something of me then ask me nicely. Naruto said, causing the old lady to narrow her eyes. Well, Naruto, do you? Inochi continued with his question. No. The fact of the matter is that I would do it again if faced with the same situation. Naruto answered Inochi. Hiashi spoke next. Naruto, the blonde turned to the Hyuga. Hypothetically speaking, if it was leaf nins instead of rock nins, would you have taken the same course of action? Heads turned to face Naruto. I will tell you like I told Sasuke. Had it been leaf nins, there would be close to 300 leaf nins dead. It's as simple as that. Naruto's answer caused everyone in the room into shock. You can't be serious, Naruto. Tsunade asked. I'm very serious. Besides, I think Sandaime wouldn't be mad either. He would never use children as leverage in hopes to better his troops. If Konoha did that, then they would be disrespecting everything that he stood for. You all can get mad, but I stand by what I said. This is not an issue because the leaf would never do something like that. I mean, if Yo did, then you would be showing little faith in your clans, especially the Hyuga who's said to be strongest in Konoha. Am I right, Hiashi-sama? Naruto said the last part mocking. Do any of you have any more questions? Tsunade asked the council. Browse just in community forum beta's story search. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except anime, Naruto plus Shibi, who was almost quiet in every meeting, spoke. Naruto, I think that everyone here would like to know whether you remain loyal to Konoha. Only until this war is over. After that, I'm returning to my life with my fiancé in Sun Country. I'm going to live out my days enjoying my life. Naruto answered Shino's dad. I think that's all for the questions. Naruto, you and Hinata will be teamed up to do missions. You two will join others on missions, but for the most part, she will be in your team, Tsunade stated, informing Naruto of the decision forced on her by the council yesterday. Naruto looked at the council to see only a few of them smirking, mainly Yuden Koharu, Hyuga Hiashi, Hoedo Tasuki, Kirai Koi, Kataki Waga, and Mitokado Homura. Naruto looked at Tsunade and narrowed his eyes. He knew exactly what they were trying to do. I get it. You want me to take on the suicide missions in hopes that you can get rid of me and Hinata on my team because Broom in the over here feels she's unworthy to be in the main family. Two birds with one stone, Naruto finished off, glaring at the Hyuga. We thought it would be in your best interest to have a Hyuga. Hinata could make a good scout and can alert you of danger. There would be a lot of situations where her Baiua could be useful. Hiyashi said, trying not to seem suspicious. Naruto stood up and slammed his hand against the table. Then why not Neji? He has the seal, and if he dies his Byakugan will be sealed forever. After finishing his statement, H widened with realization. He now knew the reason and has illustrated to Hiyashi that he didn't like it one bit. You are going to put the cage seal on Hinata, aren't you? Hiyashi gave the boy a slight smirk. She is weak and doesn't deserve to be in the main house. Naruto looked down at the table. His fist was clenched and he was shaking his head. How could you do that to your own daughter, you bastard? Naruto went Hiyashi but was restrained by Jiraiya, who appeared out of nowhere. Let me go so I can kick his pompous. Then we'll see if he deserves to be a Hyuga. Let go, Arrow Sennin. Naruto was struggling as Jiraiya had him in a full Nelson. Naruto, this is not the forum for this type of behavior. Just calm down, calm down. Naruto heeded his words and did just that. Naruto dropped back in his seat. Tsunade, who was now massaging the area above her eyebrows, spoke. Jiraiya, I thought I told you that you can't just barge in on council meetings. If I wasn't here, Hiyashi would be heading to the hospital. Anyway, I just wanted to see what was going to happen, don't mind me. Jiraiya said. Naruto stood up. I'm done. I'm going back to the hotel. I didn't end this meeting yet, Naruto. Tsunade informed the blonde. It's the end for me. Naruto said as he burst open the doors. Tsunade just sighed. She was stressed and it seemed like this day was only going to get longer. This meeting is over, all dismissed. Everyone got up and filed out of the room. Jiraiya looked at Tsunade, who returned the look. He smiled at her. Sake. I thought you would never ask, she replied with a smile of her own. Naruto was walking down the streets. It was now noon and he was hungry. He figured he'd swing to pick Yumi up and take her out for lunch. Naruto was walking along when he and Yumi walking together. Yumi spotted him instantly. She ran up to him and gave him a hug. Naruto, I really missed you. I was only gone for about 3 days. It wasn't long. Anyway, where are you heading? Naruto asked. Ino finally caught up to Yumi, who took of leaving her behind, so we're going to grab a bit to eat at the barbecue shack. Care to join us, Naruto? I know Lee, Neji, Shikamaru, would be pleased to see you. Naruto thought it over for a bit then shrugged his shoulders. Alright, I'll go with you guys. It gives me a chance to spend more time with Yumi and meet up with the guys. Led Ino. Ino led the way. Naruto and Yumi were behind her holding hands and talking about stuff that Ino had no clue about. It was not like it mattered, she didn't really care anyway. Tea finally arrived at the food place. They were greeted by Kurenai, Asuma, Lee, Ebisu, Genma, Shizune, Yugo, Shikamaru, Choji, Neji, and Anko. Anko smirked at the sight of Naruto, so, the Golden Fox graces us with his presence. To what do we owe the pleasure? Naruto returned the smirk. Don't worry, Konoha is paying 90 million Ryu for it. I guess you're right. Please sit. Anko moved over to let Naruto take a seat next to her. Naruto sat down, while Yumi and Ino sat on the opposite side of the table across from. It's great to see you, Naruto-kun. How was your mission? Lee asked. Too easy to be an S rank if you ask me. Naruto responded. It seemed like a troublesome mission if you ask me, but you guys are safe so I guess it's okay. Shikamaru said lazily. So Naruto, how did Hinata do on the mission? Kurenai asked. She did okay, I guess. She really didn't have to do much fighting. I and Sasuke pretty much handled the guards. She did help us get past the border by using her Byakugan Efficine, Naruto stated. The waiter came by and asked everyone for their order. When he saw Naruto he narrowed his eyes but took his order. The waiter walked away with the intention of spitting in food but Naruto grabbed his hand before he could get away, sensing what he was thinking. If you spit in my plate, I will personally mail your body to your wife and kids. RW. The waiter shook his head and hurried off. Everyone was looking at Naruto for what he just did. Neji gave Naruto a curious look. Naruto, what was that all about? Nothing. He was going to spit in my plate, so I had to make sure that he didn't. Fear does a lot to people. Naruto said with a smile. Naruto, are you sure that was wise? Now, like the rest of the village, he has what he believes is a legitimate reason to hate you. Shikamaru stated. Naruto looked at Shikamaru wondering if he knew about the fox. He decided to confirm his suspicions. No matter what I do, Shikamaru, I will always be seen as a monster. Well, I don't see you as that. In fact, they should be kissing your. Shikamaru stated. Naruto smiled at the pineapple-haired Junin. Shikamaru knew and he didn't hate him for it. Everyone in Naruto's age group was confused by the conversation between the two, wanted to know what they was talking about. Naruto, what do you mean that they will always see you as a monster? Ino, answer me this, when you was little, did your parents tell you not to associate with me? Naruto asked. Ino thought about for a moment and remembered a time when she was young her mother told her never to associate with him because nothing good would come from it. Yes, would my mother say that? Ask Oba-chan or your parents. Anyway, can we change the subject? Naruto said. Kurenai wondered how Naruto killed all of those nins. It seemed impossible, yet he did it. Naruto, how did you take out all of those nins? Ebisu, who didn't really know what happened, was now listening carefully. Naruto spoke, I took them out rather easily. You would think that 120 rain nins would give me a har, even one who had the chakra we use Kua sword, but they WK asn't, disappointing really. Wise. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except, you took out 120 nins? Ebisu asked. No, I took out approximately 270 nins. Naruto answered. Why did you do it, Naruto? Kurenai asked. Look, I just told this story to my team yesterday, I'm not doing it again. If you want to know, ask Hinata, Sasuke, Sakura, Udon, Hanabi, or Konohamaru. You can even ask Jira Tsunade or Yumi here. But I'm done telling the story. Naruto stated. The food arrived and everyone started eating. A Hyuga branch family member came to the table and greeted Neji. Neji, you are requested at the Hyuga compound. What for? Neji asked. Someone from the main house will become a branch member today. This person is having the seal placed on them as we speak. The branch house is having a formal dinner to this person. The Hyuga said. Who is it? Neji said, grabbing the man. I don't know, the main house didn't say. We should get going, the Neji, we have a lot to prepare for. The Hyuga motioned for Neji to follow. Excuse me everyone, I have business to take care of. Enjoy your meals, and Naruto, I expect a rematch. He said the last part smiling at the blonde. Yeah, you got it, Naruto said, returning the smile. Neji walked up and everyone at the table was curious about the whole Hyuga ordeal. Genma spoke for the first time, I wonder who it is from the main house. I don't know, but I don't think it's anyone important. Shizune responded. Everyone continued to talk while Naruto stayed quiet thinking. Yumi looked at Naruto and noticed the look on his face and wondered why he seemed so upset. Naruto, what's the matter? Are you feeling okay? Naruto looked up to Yumi. Huh. Yeah, I'm fine. Well, you don't look fine, Naruto, you haven't even told us who you think is the Hyuga receiving the caged seal. Ino stated. I already know who is receiving the seal. Naruto stood up. He looked at Yumi. Yumi, let's go, I would like to spend some time with you alone. Yumi stood up, she and Naruto to walk out the restaurant. Naruto, who is it then? Choji's question stopped Naruto in his tracks. Naruto turned around and looked at Kurenai. Kurenai, I think Hinata is going to need you. Everyone's eyes went wide. Kurenai didn't want to believe it, but she knew that he was right. She couldn't believe that Hinata would have the seal on her head, but it was Officia father had outright disowned her. 3 hours later at the Hyuga compound, Hinata was looking at the seal on her head in a mirror. It wasn't the seal that hurt, it was the fact that her father had disowned her. When she thought of this, a tear came to Hinata, who was in a white kimono, was preparing herself to go to the dinner in her to becoming a branch member. Her father wouldn't be there, just her aunt and Neji. Shiwa room, the room that was hers for 18 years. This would no longer be her room because she was going to the branch house now. Hinata heard a knock at the door and wiped her eyes to hide the fact that she was crying. Come in. The door opened to reveal her father and a couple of branch members. He motioned for them to collect her stuff and take it to the branch house. He looked at her and spoke, "Your job will be to serve the Hyuga as a protector of the Byakugan. If why stronger then this wouldn't have happened, but it seems that you are not. I expect you to be out of the main house in an hour." Her father turned around and walked out of the branch members collected her stuff and took it with them. Hinata broke down crying once everyone was out her room. Hanabi, who was by the door, couldn't help but feel bad for her sister. Even though she and Hinata had problems, never wished the curse seal on her. Hanabi ran off to get away. She couldn't understand why her father didn't love Hinata the way he loved her. It wasn't right, and the more she tea about the way her father, herself, and the rest of the main house treated her, it made her mad. Mad at them for treating her like trash and mad at herself for treating Hinata, so Hanabi needed to get out of the compound and get away. She didn't know where she was going as long as it was far away from her home. In a nearby park, Naruto and Yumi was sitting on the bench enjoying the beautiful sunny day in the village. Naruto and Yumi watched as kids were playing kickball in the field and parents watching their kids. Naruto was glad to be spending time with Yumi, but he couldn't help but think of Hinata's situation. He wished there was something he could do, but this was out of his control. He just hoped that she was alright. Naruto, is something the matter? You've been staring into space for a while now. I was just wondering about Hinata. Her family is placing that seal on her. I hope she's okay, she's too nice to have to deal with that. Naruto told Yumi. Oh, that is sad indeed, but I'm sure she'll be okay. Yumi said to reassure Naruto. I guess you're right. Anyway, what do you want to do? Naruto asked. I don't know. Maybe we could go see a movie or something. Yumi suggested. Sounds like a plan, let's go. Naruto said. The two walked up and headed to the theater. Naruto grabbed Yumi's hand, he looked at her and smiled. He tried to think about a way to help Hinata, but what could he do? He lost and had no idea what to do. In the Cloud Village, the Raikage sat in his chair pondering the news he just received. From the story of the two nins that survived, it seemed that Uchiha Sasuke and Naruto Uzumaki was the ones the assault on the base. He had no choice but to do what he was about to do. It made him mad, but at the same time it made him happy. He looked at one his Junins, have a carrier hawk deliver a message to the Rain and the Rock villages. Tell them to cease all attacks for now. Send a letter to the Mist Inform Raikage that I wish to hold a summit there since they're a neutral country. Last but not least, send a letter to the Leaf and the Sand, informing them of my intentions. Send our hawk to the Mist. Raikage-sama, do you think this is wise? One of the Junins asked. Yes. It vexes me that they hit us and left without a scratch, but this is a blessing in disguise. The Hokage told his Junin. How so, sir? The Junin asked. This is the perfect time to get the Mist to ally with us. Orochimaru has showed us the way and we shall do the same. If everything goes according to plan, the Cloud, along with Rock, Mist, and Rain, will crush the Leaf. Sir, what has he shown us? The Junin asked. We use Cook Ed. i.e. by using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except, with or without the Mist, I can get Tsunade to show good faith and hold the Chunin exams. We will do what Orochimaru did and attack then. Although he had a good idea, they didn't have the tactical knowledge or know-how. Maybe he did, but he didn't have 3 villages attacking one. How will you get the mist to join us? The Junin asked. The Golden Fox has solved that problem for us. The Mizukage wants Saichi Kato dead. He fears that Kato will kill him and take over his reign. If we can promise him that kill Naruto would draw him out, then he would gladly accept. The Raikage stated. Sir, he is extremely good, maybe even better than the Sannin. How do you suppose we are going to kill him? Asked the Junin. I don't expect us to. I just want to get the mist to fight alongside of us. Besides, if it comes down to it, I can kill him need be. The kid is strong, but he isn't on my level. The R down back in his chair. He opened his drawer and pulled out a leaf headband that he had in his possession. There is only one person that is on my level. I was hoping that this war would draw him out, but it has not. Once he's dead, I won't have anything to worry about. Our village W among all of the villages. Maybe I should bring this headband with me. That would stir up some emotions surely. The Raikage said with a smirk. Leave me and send in Nensho Kuin. The guard bowed and obeyed the Raikage. Kuin, a young man, with blue hair and yellow eyes, entered into the room. The Raikage motioned for him to take a seat. Kuin, you are my best Junin and possibly my suck. Seems that I have a mission for you, but this mission will not start until I say so. Your mission will be to kill Uchiha Sasuke and Naruto Uzumaki. The last of the Uchiha clan and the Golden Fox himself. I will enjoy this greatly, Raikage-sama. But I ask, sir, why me? Kuin asked. I chose you because you have the power necessary to deal with them. I'm sure that Gobi sealed inside of you will give you the power necessary to deal with them. You are this trump card. When the time comes, you will show them the power of the Gobi no Hoko. The Raikage said with a sinister smile. They won't stand a chance, sir. The power of the demon will allow me to do what is necessary. They will fall at my feet. Kuin said, very sure of himself. I don't doubt you. Kuin, I would like you to accompany me to Water Country when I go. I'm sure you will see those two there. Tsunade will surely have them both as her bot along with the infamous copy ninja Kakashi. Here is the file that I have on Naruto, Sasuke and Kakashi. It's old, gathered from our intelligence during the Chunin exams. 6 The Raikage hands Kuin the file. Why give me an old file and what is the purpose of it? Kuin wondered. Well, we heard that Hitaki Kakashi had a team in the exams that year. Open it and tell me what you see. The Raikage motioned for him to open the file. Kuin opened the file and looked at it intensely. I see. Hitaki Kakashi was their Junin instructor along with some pink-haired girl. I bet she's dead now. Actually, she's alive. In fact, she's Tsunade's apprentice. All of them trained with the Sannin. Naruto trained with Jiraiya and Sasuke trained with Orochimaru. The girl probably accompanied them to the meeting, but from what here, she's just as good as Tsunade when it comes to being a medic nin. She can hold her own in a fight, but clearly Naruto and are stronger. The Raikage told Kuin. Well, Raikage-sama, thanks for showing me this. If you didn't, I wouldn't have taken them serious. This should prove interesting. Indeed it should. Indeed it should. The Raikage said with an evil smirk. Back in the Leaf Village, it was now night in the village. Naruto and Yumi decided to get ramen before going back to the hotel. Naruto was now on his 6th bowl and Yumi felt embarrassed by her pig-o fiancé. Naruto, how is it that you're still hungry? You're already on your 6th bowl. I think you should stop before you clean them out of their weekly stock. Yumi suggested. What can I say? Ichiraku ramen is the best, isn't that right, Ayame Nichan? Naruto asked the lady behind the stand. Yes, I suppose that it is. Do you want another bowl, Naruto-kun? Ayame asked her favorite, long-lost customer. Nah, I think this will do. Thanks for offering. By the way, Ne-chan, where is the old man? Naruto asked. He went on vacation for the week while I run the shop. He works so hard, he really deserves it. Ayame told Naruto. Well, Nei-chan, I think we should be heading back to the hotel. Thanks for the ramen, it was delicious. Naruto said. Yes, Ayame-san, the ramen was excellent. I hope to see you again, later, Ayame-san. Yumi waved to the girl as her and Naruto headed back to the hotel they were to stay at. Naruto and Yumi were walking. Two Chunin-level ninjas appeared in front of them. A young teen girl with long flowing orange hair landed in front of Naruto along with a girl with long and tangled brown hair. The girls stood up from their crouching positions. Naruto-Nisan, it is good to see you. All is well, I hope. The girl said, smiling at Naruto. Moegi, is that you? Wow, you grew up to be a beautiful Kunoichi, I see. Who's your friend? Naruto asked. The girl extended her hand for Naruto to shake. My name is Matsuri, and it's nice to meet you, Naruto-san. Likewise, but may I ask why you two are here? Naruto asked. Well, Tsunade requests to see you. She told us to escort you to the Hokage Tower. Moegi stated. Yumi slightly nudged Naruto. Oh, where are my manners? Moegi and Matsuri, I would like you to meet Yumi, my fiancé. It's nice to meet you girls. Naruto, you go ahead, I'll go to the hotel and wait until you finish. Yumi said. Okay, later, sweetie. Naruto kissed her, then walked off with Moegi and Matsuri. Do you guys have any idea what she wants? Naruto asked. I'm not sure, but it seems like all of the Junins are there. We'll see when we get there. Matsuri stated. So Naruto-Nisan, did anything happen between Konohamaru-kun and the Ice Queen? Moegi asked. Does Moegi have a crush on Konohamaru? Naruto said with a smirk. No, that's not it at all, it's just that I'm curious, that's all. She put up her hands in defense. She's lying, she has a major crush on Konohamaru. Matsuri informed the blonde. Well, at least I'm not a member of the Uchiha Sasuke fan club. Moegi shot back. So what if I like Sasuke-kun? He is so hot, dreamy, and mysterious. Matsuri said with hearts in her eyes. Please tell me you're joking. Naruto said to the girl. Joking about loving Sasuke-kun? Nope. He is the greatest. Don't tell me you're jealous of Sasuke-kun, Naruto-san. Matsuri said. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Accept? Nope, not at all. It's just funny to see that his fan club stretches down into the youth. So besides your obvious crush on my former teammate, who else do you like? Naruto. Well, I do like udon. Wait a minute, you were on Sasuke's team as a genin. Matsuri stated. Yes, and no, I will not put in a good word for you. The fact of the matter is that we're not on good terms and never really have been. Besides, my other former teammate has a crush on him as well. Naruto informed the girl. She then slumped her shoulders in defeat. I wonder who his other teammate was. Matsuri thought. Sakura-san was Naruto's other teammate. I told you to go for udon instead of Sasuke-san. Moegi said to her friend. I guess you're right. Besides, I'm only 15. Sasuke-kun clearly would want someone his age or older. Well, it doesn't hurt to admire his beauty. Matsuri said with a smile. Moegi giggled at her friend's comment. I suppose not. Anyway, we're here. Naruto and the two girls entered the meeting room. In the meeting room, there were 3 chairs in the front, while there were chairs and desks in the room for the Junins and Chunins to sit. Naruto saw Kiba and Shino next to Kurenai. He looked to his left and saw Shikamaru resting his head on the desk. He saw Ino and Sakura talking to Tenten, and while Guy was talking to Genma and Asuma. Naruto saw Sasuke leaning against a wall in the corner of the waiting for what looked to be a meeting to begin. The rest of the Ju were chatting amongst each other. Kiba turned and noticed Naruto observing his surroundings. Hey Naruto, over here man. Naruto walked over to Kiba. Hey Kiba, Shino, and Kurenai. Everyone greeted Naruto. Naruto looked at Kurenai. Did you get any word on Hinata? Neji told us earlier that the seal was already placed on her. Right now she's at a welcome dinner with the branch family. Kurenai said sadly. That bastard Hiyashi, I should kick his to kingdom come. Kiba said with anger and energy. Harming him won't help Hinata. The best that we can do is be there for her in her time of need. Shino said. Hanabi saw Hinata's teammates and walked up to them, Kiba, Shino, Kurenai, Naruto. She greeted them. What do you want? Kiba said with anger in his voice. I know you're probably mad at me, but I didn't know until after it happened. I would never wish the seal on anybody. The fact of the matter is that there is nothing I can do. Said with a defeated expression. If you really want to do something, then become the head of the Hyuga and ban the curse seal. Naruto suggested. I won't go against the method that has ensured our survival for generations. Hanabi said. Then you don't deserve to be leader. A leader does what is right, not what is right for him. He put the wants and needs of his people before him. That is what a leader is. You are so worried about someone obtaining the secrets of the Byakugan that it's tearing your family apart. Naruto said to the girl. She was about to respond, but Tsunade walked in with Koharu and Homura. She took the seat in the middle while Koharu took the seat on her left and Homura the seat on her arm, motioned for all of the Junins to sit down. A couple of hours ago, I received a letter that the Cloud, Rock, and Rain Village will cease the attacks for now. Another message was sent to me 2 hours after that informing a summit is to be held in the Mist Village in 3 days. I will be going to this meeting, but I want you all to stay on high alert while I'm away from this village. One of the Junins raised his hand, Tsunade-sama, who will be accompany you on your trip. Don't worry, I have selected 5 of the best ninjas to accompany me. Tsunade answered the man. Genma raised his hand next. If you don't mind me asking, Hokage-sama, who are they? Hitaki Kakashi, Uchiha Sasuke, Hyuga Neji, Haruno Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto. Tsunade informed everyone. One of the older ninjas, who was around when the Kyuubi attacked and didn't like Naruto, spoke. Hokage-sama, shouldn't you select someone other than Uzumaki? I mean, he a ninja of this village. For all we know, he could be. Before the ninja could finish, Naruto was on the guy's desk with a kunai at his throat. Everyone, with the exception of a few and Tsunade, was shocked by his speed. Sasuke smirked. You should be more worried about your skills than about whether or not I'm worthy to play bodyguard to the old hag. Also, if you have issues with me, take them up with me. Behind your words, you pathetic excuse for a ninja. Naruto said to the guy who was shaking. Naruto, please take your seat, this isn't the time or the forum for this. As for you, Sawado Gido, the people I selected are highly capable. I'm sure you can see that. Tsunade the Junin. Naruto moved back to his seat across the room. Tsunade continued to speak. Like I was saying, those people I named will be accompanying me. I expect the rest of you to be and protect this village. While I'm gone, Shizune will be acting Hokage. Are there any questions? Naruto raised his hand. Tsunade motioned for him to speak. Oba-chan, why did you select the said people? I know why you selected me, but why the others? Well, Naruto, it's to show that I'm not be trifled with. You, Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura and Neji are probably the strongest nins in the village next to myself. Also, Sasuke being and Neji being a Hyuga, Kakashi's reputation and your actions in Rock and Rain will make them think twice about trying anything funny. Tsunade informed Naruto. You mentioned the reason for everyone going, but Sakura. Is she just going for show or what? Naruto asked. Sakura stood up and turned to face Naruto's direction. I think you're seriously underestimating my skills, Naruto. Sakura said. I'm not underestimating you. I'm sure you improved as much as you could. What I wonder is if it's good enough. Naruto said with a smirk. Sakura walked up to Naruto, who stood up when she got near. Sakura smiled at him, then punched with all her might, sending him flying through a wall. Still think I'm not good, and Naruto? No, you're not good enough. Everyone looked up to see Naruto standing on the ceiling. You have the strength, I give you that, but what good is power if you can't hit your opponent or see them in this case? Naruto stated. Sakura looked up with anger in her eyes. When did you switch? He switched with the desk in the far corner when you back your punch, Sasuke informed her. I see, we're the observant one, Sasuke. Naruto said to the Uchiha. Naruto, if you don't get back in your seat, I guarantee that my punch will connect, and Sakura, you owe me a wall. They went back to their seats. Tsunade continued, like I was saying, Sakura is going for her skills as well. Although she may not be as skilled as you, she is very skilled. Udon raised his hands next. I noticed that you said Kakashi and Neji are also going too. Why aren't they here at this meeting? We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except, Kakashi is on a mission and Neji is tending to family business. Kakashi will be informed upon his return. As for Neji, he will be informed later on tonight. Are there any other coup this matter? Tsunade asked. What do you think made them cease all attacks? Another Junin asked. Well, I think it has to do with the mission that was led by Uchiha Sasuke. He and his team obtained blueprints for a ninja base in Lightning Country. This base had battle strategy. Think the Raikage feared that if we obtained their plans, then we could swing the war in our favor. He could use this meeting to give him time to think up of a new strategy. Su informed the Junin. So in other words, we got the king in check and they're looking for a move on the board to get them out of check. Shikamaru asked. Great analogy, Shikamaru. And yes, we do have them in check, so to speak, but anything can happen. Anyway, this meeting is now adjourned. All missions are suspended until a return from Water Country. Tsunade got up and left, followed by Homura and Kaharu. Everyone left. Naruto headed back to the hotel. He entered his room to hear the shower running. Naruto took off his shirt and lay on the bed. He stared at the ceiling for 10 minutes. Yumi sn him out of his daze. Naruto, earth to Naruto. Hey sweetie, you smell great, is that apple scent? Naruto asked while Yumi laid next to him. Actually it is. I thought you would like it. She said while circling her finger on his chest. Naruto got up. I'm going to take a shower. Do you want to join? I mean, I could always someone to wash my back. Yumi grabbed his hand while giving him a seductive look. She led him to the shower. Naruto followed and closed the shower behind him. Midnight Hyuga house. Hinata lay in the bed thinking about the events of her day. Neji, his mother, and the rest of the branch members welcomed her with open arms. The dinner in her honor of Biko branch member was nice, but she still felt out of place. She wished she was stronger. She hated this seal and wished she could free everyone from it. Hinata decided not to think anymore. She closed her eyes and decided to go to sleep. Suddenly her eyes shot open. Hinata saw a person in all black. The said person had a tissue filled with chloroform in his hand. The tissue was placed over her mouth and nose. The darkness had consumed. 7 a.m. in Konoha. Naruto laid in the bed with Yumi snuggled up to his chest. He jolted up when he heard banging on his door. What the? Naruto sat up. Yumi sat up and slowly started rubbing. Who the heck could that be banging early this morning? Yumi asked out loud. Naruto got up and placed a towel around his waist. He opened the door to see Sakura and Kiba standing at the door. Sakura and Kiba saw Naruto with a towel around his waist, blushed, putting 2 and 2 together. Kiba just gave him a knowing smirk. Naruto, I can see that you're busy, or at least was busy, but the Hokage requests your presence at the tower. Kiba said. What is this about? Naruto asked. Last night, Hinata was kidnapped. Sakura said. Naruto closed his eyes for a second. Give me a minute to get dressed and I will be out. Naruto quickly threw on a pair of sweats and an orange short-sleeve shirt. He quickly left the room. Him, Sakura, and Kiba all took off immediately. They arrived at the Hokage's office. Everyone from the Rookie 9 and Guy's team was there. Tsunade looked at the new arrivals. Now that everyone is here, I will speak. Last Hyuga Hinata was kidnapped. I chose you Guy because all of you were the closest to her. Did the kidnapper leave any clues and any demands? Naruto asked. All that was found at the scene was a letter saying that the kidnapper wants 200,000 Ryu. The kidnapper demanded that we meet him at the border of Wind and River counter least a day's travel, so you guys will leave now. I want Hinata bought back, whether she's dead or alive. I know you guys don't want to think about it, but we have to expect the also. Gaara and his siblings will meet up with you guys at the border. You will escort them back as well. Gaara will be accompanying me on my trip to Mist. Anyway, you're Missio now, leave. Everyone left except Naruto. Naruto, why are you still here? Tsunade asked. Do you think she's alright? Naruto asked. I don't know, Tsunade replied. Naruto left the office immediately in the same fashion as everyone else. Naruto caught up with everyone. Kiba and Neji was in the lead, going faster than everyone else. Shikam sighed. Kiba, Neji, slow down, you guys are going too fast. Hinata's in danger and you're telling me to slow down. Piss off, lazy. Kiba replied. Do you think Hinata is okay? Ino asked. Don't. Ino-san, I'm sure Hinata-san is perfectly fine. Lee tried to assure Ino. I hope that she's okay. Sakura said. Sasuke looked behind him and smirked. So you finally decided to join us, Dobi. You're still calling me a Dobi after I kicked you? Naruto said. Yep. Because the next time the outcome will be different. I just upped my training. Next time we fight you're going to lose. Sasuke stated. Whatever you say, Sasuke-chan. The fact of the matter is that you lost. Anyway, we need to be looking for Hinata, not fighting. Not like you're much of a challenge anyway. Sachoji let out a laugh. Ino laughed slightly, and Shikamaru smirked. Kiba, who was in the front, couldn't help but laugh loud and hard. Sasuke narrowed his eyes at the blonde bee. I can assure you that I'm not gay. Don't confuse me with yourself, idiot. You have fan club of females and yet you don't date any one of them or anyone for that matter. If looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and smells like a duck. Naruto said. Sasuke-kun isn't gay. Sakura shouted. How do you know that, Sakura? Naruto asked. Well, Sakura tried to say something. You guys are so busted. Naruto said. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except, what? You didn't think that I knew about you too. Sasuke, you were so obvious by distancing yourself from Sakura while we were on the mission, and Sakura, you just confirm coming to his defense. Don't worry, nobody here will tell, right guys? Naruto asked. It's too troublesome, and besides I already knew. Shikamaru said. I did too, Sakura, you should not put an Uchiha t-shirt in your laundry. Ino stated. Sneaking into the Uchiha compound at night was a dead giveaway. Neji stated. How did you know about? Sakura caught herself before she finished. Sasuke was mad and went ahead of Kiba. Naruto smiled and spoke in baby voice. I guess Wasuke was a whittle mad that his whittle secret was exposed. I guess so, but it's too troublesome to stress over it. Shikamaru said. You say that to everything, you lazy bum. I wonder if I told Tamari that you said it was too troublesome take her out while she was in the village, what would she do to you? Her friend. Ino, you wouldn't do that, would you? Shikamaru said with a slightly nervous voice. No, I just wanted to see your reaction. Ino said and smiled. Ino is so troublesome. I swear that she can be such an annoying bitch at times. Shikamaru thought. Naruto looked at Shino, who was quiet during their 20 minutes of travel. Shino, are you okay? Naruto, I'm fine. We shouldn't panic because Hinata is fine, I'm sure of it. She is stronger than she and everyone else thinks. If she had confidence then she would be really hope she finds her inner strength. Naruto looked at Shino for a minute then smiled. He really cares for her like a big brother. He's right though, Hinata is strong, I hope that she sees that. The group continued to their destination. They were a day away from knowing the fate of their comrade. Somewhere unknown, is she okay? Yes, but she has been out for a while. That's good to know. She's Hyuga of the branch house. Yes, she is. What you're asking me to do is going to cost you. I know, can you do it? Of course I can, I am the best. Hinata was a little disoriented but she heard a voice that sounded like a woman and man. She grabbed her head, my head, it hurts. It would seem that our guest is up. The lady said. Hinata couldn't make out who she was, her eyes still trying to focus. Yes, so it seems. How do you feel? The man asked Hinata. Hinata tried to answer but was too focused on getting her eyes adjusted. Don't worry about it, if I wanted you dead then you would be dead. The man said. What is wrong with my eyes, why is everything blurry? Hinata asked. I injected you with a sleep drug when you got here around 3 this morning, anyway here is some water, drink up. The lady handed her the drink. Hinata's vision started to clear. She now saw that a beautifully lady stood before her. What shocked her was the person that was standing in front of her. She couldn't believe why did he kidnap her, what did he have to gain from it? Hinata's eyes was wide in shock when she said in a low tone, Naruto-kun. Hinata was shocked to see Naruto standing over her. He extended his hand and gave her a smile of assurance, from that point she knew that he wouldn't harm her. She took his used as support. Hinata stood, but wobbled a little before Naruto grabbed. Are you okay, Hinata? Naruto asked with concern. I'm fine, Naruto-kun, just a little weak that's all. By the way, where am I? Hinata asked out of curiosity. You're at my house, Hinata. Allow me to introduce myself, my name is Haito Naya. Naya extended her hand for Hinata to shake. Hinata took the lady's hand and shook it. Nice to meet you, Naya-san. I remember hearing your name from Guy-san. He said that you were known as the seal mistress. If I'm here then that means, Hinata was cut off by Naruto. I asked Naya to remove the seal from your head, Naruto answered. Hinata looked at Naruto with sad eyes. Naruto-kun, thanks but I can't let this be done. It would be going against my family. Besides, it is better for everyone this way. Naruto looked at Hinata and shook his head. Here I thought you were smart but you dumber and weaker than I thought. Hinata's eyes went wide. Naruto's words had shocked and hurt at the same time. The one person she cared for now saw her as everyone else did. She put her head down. I'm Naruto-kun. Naruto grabbed her and threw her against the wall. This frightened Hinata. He looked deep into her eyes. Tell me, Hinata, is this what you wanted? Do you really think that it's Betty your father disowned you? Do you think it's for the better that you are now a slave in your own home? Do you think it's better to have a division in your family, huh? Naruto punched wall next to Hinata's head. Tell me, god damn it. Naruto screamed. Tears started to fall out Hinata's eyes. She was scared and confused by Naruto's actions. Naruto saw her fear and tears. He immediately let her go, causing her to fall to the floor. Looked away from her then in a low tone. Hinata, you're too nice of a person. If I learned anything is that when you are too nice people will walk all over you. I know you're no and I know you don't think having that seal is for the best. So tell me, Hinata, what do you want? Naruto asked. Hinata thought about for a minute. She stood up and wiped her tears. I want to be strong like you, Naruto-kun. Naruto chuckled at that. You think I'm strong? Yeah, I can beat a few people and I can. Hinata quickly cut him off. That's not what I meant. I mean, you never gave up even when people would put you down. You stand up for what you believe in and you are willing for it. The strength that you have isn't physical, it's more in your attitude. To be more precise, it is your confidence and utter belief in yourself that makes you strong. So when want to be strong like you, that's what I meant. Naruto looked at Hinata with a serious expression. Then why not just stand up for what you believe in? Hinata, Things aren't going to change if all you do is wish them to. You make a change, you got to do it yourself. Hinata, you're strong than you think. I think what's holding you back is that you're trying to live up to everyone's expectations, but you Hinata thought about what Naruto was saying. She hated her lack of confidence, but she also hated the division in the Hyuga clan. She always wanted to change the Hyuga to become Naruto's girlfriend. Seeing that the latter was out of the option, she decided then and there to focus on the former. Hinata realized what Naruto did for her. He wasn't mean, he wasn't trying to insult her. No, he was trying to make her see that crying all day about her family issues wasn't going to change it, action would. Hinata hugged Naruto, who was a bit shocked by the embrace. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I think that removing the seal would be the first step to change. I don't know how I'm gonna change my family, but this is a start. Hinata, I told Neji that if I became Hokage I would change the Hyuga. That isn't going to happen, but by helping you, I would be helping just a little to make that change. Hin Hyuga clan is to change, then it will be on you to do so. Naruto told Hinata. I know. Hinata responded. Well, if you guys are done with all that touchy crap about making changes, can we get on with removing the seal? This isn't an easy process by no means, you know. Naya said, her foot impatiently. Naya-san, will it be painful and how long will it take? Hinata asked. Well, I'm not going to lie, it might hurt. I don't know, because you're the first that I remove the seal from. It isn't easy to do, but it is removable. Also, the process will take from 3 to 7 hours. Follow me, Hinata. I will take you to one of my sealing rooms. Naya motioned Hinata to follow. Hinata did, but looked back when Naruto didn't follow. Naruto-kun, aren't you coming? No, Hinata. I will wait out her until the process is done. I got word from my clone via radio, after my clone left Tsunade's office. I was informed that she put together a team of everyone from our graduating class and Neji's squad to go look for you. When you're done having the seals removed, we are going to meet them at the border. I will inform T my actions and we will devise a plan from there. I'm sure they will go along, Kiba, Shino, and Neji especially. Naruto flashed Hinata a reassuring smile. Hinata nodded in understanding and followed Naya, who told her to hurry. Naya and Hinata enter her seal room. On the floor was a seal that Hinata never seen before. The room was slightly illuminated. It reminded her of being in a cave with a torch. Went to the far end of the room and came back to where Hinata was standing. She had what looked like blood in a valve, some other containers with various colors of dye, and syringe. Okay, Hinata, lay down in the middle of that seal. Hinata did as she said. Naya placed the items on the floor outside of the seal. She grabbed the blood and syringe. She placed the blood down and a green liquid down next to Hinata. She took the SYR, grabbed Hinata's arm. Hinata, I'm going to need your blood. The seal is tied to you by you blood, so in order to free it I'm going to mix you blood with the Hawk's blood over th. Sure, you're aware that Hawk's blood is used for the seal. I'm also sure that whoever placed the seal on you liquefied a leaf and then drew the cage seal. They then used the Ha blood, mixed with your own, and traced over the marking in the middle of the seal. Yes, but when my father did the hand seals to activate it, I felt a searing pain in my body, then I passed out. Hinata informed her. Browse just in community forum beta's story search. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Accept anime, manga, Naruto, plus, the hawk's blood represents the caging of the bird. The thing with this seal is that it's connected to your eyes and brain. The seal is a mark of servitude and slavery. I don't designed it, but whoever didn't want anyone to know the secrets of removing it. It took me nearly 5 years of studying the caged seal when I was a leaf nin to figure out remove it. Naya informed Hinata. Naya placed a small dab of the liquefied leaf on her index and middle finger. She traced over the seal with the liquefied leaf. Next, she then proceeded to mix Hinata's blood with Hawk's blood. She did the same process with the liquefied leaf that she did with the Hawk's blood. Naya stepped outside of the seal and drew a mark at the top of the seal. She then walked to opposite side where Hinata's feet faced and drew another mark. She did this also right and left of Hinata. Naya stepped back in the seal and formed numerous hand seals. When she finished, her hand started glowing blue. She then placed her hand on Hinata. A flame erupted from Hinata's seal, causing her to scream in pain. Now that the easy part is over, it's time for the hard part. Naya formed a couple more hand seals. When she finished the seal underneath her and Hinata started glowing, Sky Seal Mistress stepped outside of the seal and formed more handle seals. When she finished, she extended her arms lateral. She then dropped down on her knees and touched T marking outside of the seal at the base of Hinata's head. The seal started glowing, then a circular line connected to formed around the seal Hinata was under, connecting the M that she drew. She then sat Indian style and brought her hands together as if she was praying. Focus Naya. If you lose control for an instant you can damage her eyes and or her brain. Damn, I should have gotten some sleep first before doing this. Naya, who was look Hinata smirked. I wonder if that idiot knows that she fix her clan wasn't the only thing she wanted. It's too bad that he already has someone, because those two would make a couple. Naya cleared her thoughts and focused on the task at hand. 6 hours and 34 minutes later, Naruto was taking a nap on the couch. Naya walked into the living room. Naruto heard her footsteps and sat up, stretching his arms out. You've been in there forever, is ever okay? Yes, the removal was a success. I finished the process of removing the seals 10 minutes ago. It took me another 10 minutes to draw and activate the gravity seals I placed. Oh, she's asleep right now. She passed out after the removal process due to the pain. She has a scare on her forehead shaped like the seal, but in 2 weeks it will seem as if she may mark there. She informed Naruto. That's good. How long will she be out? Naruto asked. I don't know, she might be out for an hour or 2 days. Naya replied. Well Naruto, I completed my part of the bargain. Yay, I know I owe you, right? Naruto asked. Yep. However, I don't know what I want right now, but when I figure it out I will tell you. You will have to get it, no questions asked. She replied. Okay, lead the way to Hinata. I should be heading with her to Wind Country's border. Naya led Naruto to where Hinata was. Before he picked her up, Naruto summoned Gamakichi. Hey Naruto, give me candy if you want me to do something. I don't have time for that, Gamakichi. I need you to deliver a message to Tsunade and Tsunade only, got it? She'll give you the candy you want when you get there, okay? Naruto the frog. Is that all? The young frog asked. Yes, that's all. Naruto informed the frog. Naruto tied the scroll on Gamakichi's back. The frog headed out of the room and found his way out of the house. Naruto then picked up Hinata and placed her over his shoulder. Thanks Naya, I'll be back to visit when I can. In a poof of smoke Naruto disappeared. Naya walked out of the closing the door behind her. 11 p.m. somewhere in River Country, Hinata woke up to see that she was no longer at Naya's place. She looked around and immediately concluded that she was in a hotel. She went to touch the area where the sea feel a slight pain, withdrawing her hand quickly. Naruto walked in the room seeing Hinata up. Hey, how are you feeling? My head hurts a little. Where are we? Hinata asked. Naruto responded, we're in River Country now. We're actually about 4 hours away from the border. We will leave about 2 to 3 in the morning. There we will meet up with everyone, a plan to cover up your seal being removed. What is the plan? Hinata asked. Well, I sent Gamakichi, my frog summon, to Tsunade. He will inform her of what I did, and when we return we rush you to the hospital immediately. We're going to keep you sight of you family for about 2 weeks, then you will return to the Hyuga compound. If I were you I would get used to those gravity seals. Naruto stated. I have seals. No wonder I had to struggle to sit up. Hinata said to herself out loud. Well, Hinata, this is the seal to activate and deactivate the seals. You can also elevate or lower the seals with the same hand seal. When you want to elevate or lower the gravity, think of the level you want to lower it or increase it to. Right now you're on level 1, but you should get used to this level fairly easy. Naruto explained to Hinata. Oh, okay. Well, Naruto-kun, I'm still kind of sleepy, so I'm going to go back to sleep. Again, thank you, Naruto-kun, I will not fail you. Hinata said to the man she loved. Naruto looked directly in her eyes. Don't worry about failing me, Hinata, the only person you can fail is yourself. Get some sleep, okay? Hinata turned over and went to sleep. Naruto laid back in the recliner chair that he was sitting in and closed his eyes, drifting off into sleep. 7 a.m., the border of Wind River Country, Sasuke and company arrived at the border. They waited for the Sand siblings as well as the person who kidnapped Hinata. Sakura looked at Neji, who had his Byakugan on. Nay, see anything? No, not yet. Wait, I think I see someone coming. Neji replied. Really? Can you see who it is? Tenten asked. Yes, it's 1, 2, no 3 people. Looks like Gaara and his family has arrived. Neji informed the group. This is going to be so troublesome, I just can feel it. The Sand trio started to come into everyone's view. After a few minutes, they approached the group. Gaara was the first to speak. Why did Hokage Dono send out all of you? Actually, we're on mission to retrieve Hyuga Hinata. She was kidnapped and the kidnapper informed us to meet here. Lee answered Gaara. I see. She did this so we could help. Why we use Kuko you out just in case something goes wrong. Kankuro stated. Wise. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except, nothing will go wrong, that much I can promise you, Naruto informed Kankuro. Well, if it isn't Uzumaki Naruto, how long has it been, Naruto? Temari asked. It's been about a year, when I had Hayami with me. Naruto replied. Yes, it has, so it's true that you're fighting for the leaf. How much are they paying you? Temari asked with smile. More than they want to. Naruto replied. Everyone was interrupted by a man appearing in all black, wearing a mask covering his face. He had Hinata on his shoulder. Kiba was about to rush him when Shikamaru shadowed him back. Attacking the enemy when he has something we want is foolish. You know better, fool. Shikamaru scolded Kiba. He has Hinata, we have to get her back. Come on, Neji, you agree with me, right? Kiba stated. Yes, I agree, but we don't have to worry. Hinata isn't in any harm from what I can tell. The only question is why. Neji stated with a smirk. That's what I'm trying to figure out as well. Shino said. Shikamaru shrugged. It's obvious, but it's too troublesome to explain. Sasuke spoke, looking dead at the man in the mask. Well, Naruto, care to explain? Before anyone could turn around, a kunai came flying from Sasuke's hand and pierced Naruto's heart. Everyone, with the exception of Shino, Neji, and Shikamaru, eyes went wide. What the hell did you do that for, Sasuke? Ino screamed at the Uchiha. She, like everyone else, was surprised to see Naruto disappear in a poof of smoke. What? You mean we've been traveling with a Kage Bushin? Where the hell is the real Naruto? Ask Naruto, he's standing over there with Hinata. Neji replied. Ino, Sakura, Tenten, Lee, Choji were surprised. The Sand siblings wore no expressions that betrayed their emo. Naruto pulled of his mask. I should have known I couldn't pull a fast one on you, Shikamaru, Sasuke, Shino, and Neji. When did you guys figure it out? When we all stopped to set up camp. Around the campfire, Kiba went to slap you on the back for a joke you made, but you quickly avoid being hit. Instantly Shino, Neji, Sasuke, looked at each other. That's when we knew. When everyone went to sleep, we came to the conclusion to play this out and see where it went. So Naruto, did you get the seal? Remove her seal. Sasuke, Shino, and Neji along with the rest of the group looked at Shikamaru with stunned expression. Naruto smiled at Shikamaru. You're too smart for your own good, Shika. Yes, her seal is gone. You know so much, can you figure out what's my next move? You need us to say that we defeated and killed the person that took Hinata, but she was injured and will need to spend some time in the hospital, correct? Shikamaru waited for response. Damn Shikamaru, how can a lazy like you be so perceptive? Naruto asked. When I figured out what you did, I thought of many possible moves you could make. Forget it, it's too trouble. A fan hit him over the head before he could finish that word. If you say troublesome again, so help me I will. Temari was cut off by Sasuke. I assume Tsunade is in on this? The Uchiha asked. Yes, I informed her of it yesterday. Naruto answered. Let's get going, we should arrive there by tomorrow morning. We only have one day to rest there before we go to Water Country. Gaara informed everyone. Kiba walked up to Naruto. I'll take her if you don't mind. Naruto handed Hinata to Kiba, who took off leaving everyone behind. Everyone followed suit except for Neji, who stayed behind lost in his thoughts. So, the seal can be removed. I should talk to Naruto about it while we're in Water Country. Neji disappeared where he was from and headed in the same direction as his team. Somewhere in Tea Country, Kakashi and his squad, which consisted of Yamato, Sai, Aoba, and Rado were walking along a dirt road on their way back to the Leaf Village. Tsunade assigned Kakashi and Eve Else to an A-rank mission. Their mission was to protect Wasabari Joriko, the head of the Wasabari clan, as they escorted him to and from Earth Country. They ran into a couple of rock nins but nothing too serious. It was a long mission and everyone couldn't wait to get back to Konoha. I'm sure glad that mission is over with. I can't wait to get back home and just relax. Aoba said in tone that illustrated his relief. Yes, I can't wait to be back home either. But I can't really complain, the mission wasn't that hard. Yamato stated. I suppose not. It could have been worse. Rado stated. Rado, Aoba, and Yamato were chatting, while Kakashi was reading his book. Sai, who wasn't really paying any attention to them, had his eyes fixed on the sky. Yamato, who while laughing at a joke that Aoba made, turned to look at Sai. Hey, Sai, what's the matter? That bird, it's gorgeous. Sai said. Yamato looked at Sai, then let his eyes trace Sai's line of sight. When he saw what Sai was looking at, his eyes widened in shock. Aoba and Raida looked at him as well. Both curious what the two were looked at the sky. The two instantly became shocked as well. Kakashi was still walking when he realized that everyone got quiet. He turned around to everyone fixated on the sky. Kakashi, curious, looked up to see what they were looking at. His right eye showed his visible shock. Kakashi, you see that? Rado was the first to speak. Yes, but I don't believe it. We have to tell the Hokage what we saw. No more wasting time, let's hurry and get moving, Kakashi ordered. Sai looked at Kakashi. Kakashi-senpai, do you know what type of bird that is? Kakashi eye focused on Sai. Yes. That bird is the god of all birds, it is the legendary phoenix. Kakashi turned around and disappeared from view. Everyone else did the same except for Sai. He continued to look at the enormous bird, covered in blue flames, fly miles over. I will draw that bird when I get back home. A creature of such beauty needs a portrait in its honor. Sai took his eyes off of the sky and followed suit, vanishing into nothing and Cloud Village. The Raikage sat at his desk. He got word back from the Misukage, who We's cook is willing to hold the meeting. The Raikage smiled at this, knowing that his plan were coming along. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except his assistant came into his office. Sir, Kuin, Kumoko, and Kadan are here to see you. Send them in, Momiji. The Raikage motioned for her to send them in. Kuin, followed by Kumoko, a girl in her early 20s, who had long flowing red hair and blue eyes, and Kadan, a man who looked to be around the same age as Kumoko, brown hair and brown eyes. All of them were dressed in the standard Junin uniform. The Reikage motioned for them to grab a chair and sit in front of his desk. I'm sure Kuin has given you all the details about you two being here. The Reikage asked the two other Junins. Yes, sir. He informed us that we will be your personal escort to the County of Water. Sir, I was wondering if Uzumaki Naruto was going to be there. He looked at Kumoko and smirked. Yes, however you are not to go near him while we are there. We will not attack anyone from the leaf or anyone connected to them while there. Is that understood, Kumoko? But sir, he's the one who. Kumoko was cut short by the Hokage. Yes, he was the one who killed your father, I know. No offense to you, but your father, my old sensei, was a fool. Had he became Reikage, he could have had the backing of a V carry out his dealings. I didn't know the complete purpose of Akatsuki, but I do know that 9 or 10 people, no matter how elite they are, doesn't equate to the power of a vil father forgot that when he decided to retire to pursue his quest for power. The Reikage stated, Sir, please, let me take him out. This all that I request, sir. I have never requested anything from you, sir, nothing. Kumoko pleaded. I'm sorry, Kumoko, you will not try to kill him while we are there. The Reikage informed the girl. The Reikage is right, Kumoko. Besides, what good are you to the Cloud Dead? Kodan said with a smirk. What the hell are you trying to say? Every word was said through the gritting of her teeth. He's trying to say that if you go up against the Golden Fox, you are going to die. Kumoko, granted you are strong, but you still don't compare to your father. That man killed Yo, face him would mean certain death. Kuin answered for Kodan. She tore her gaze from Kuin back to the Reikage. Sir, if I can't kill him there, can I kill him when we move to the final phase of the plan? The Reikage leaned back in his chair. It seems Kuin told you the plan, but he felt to mention that I have given him the assignment of killing Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. Know if he has anyone close to him. Wait a minute. Yes, this is perfect. Kumoko, you won't kill Uzumaki, but you will take someone that is precious from him away. Kuin smiled at what the Reikage was implying. You mean Ryaho's little girl, don't you, sir? Yes. For a man to slaughter close to 300 nins for a little girl reveals his deep care for the girl, does it not? The Reikage asked, not really expecting an answer. Kodan spoke up. Sir, are you forgetting that she is Ryaho's daughter? Getting to her will not be an easy task, sir. Yes, I'm well aware of that, however, it is something that can be done. It's like you said, this will not be an easy task. That's why it will take precise planning to make it happen. Get Tsunade to hold the Chunin exams in the Leaf. We will prepare a strategy and an elite team, including us 4, will go to Sea Country. If we succeed, Kumoko, I will give you pleasure of killing the girl and sending her head to Uzumaki. The Reikage stated to the female Junin. You said if we succeed, what do you mean by that, sir? I mean if your coming success is guaranteed, is it not? Kodan questioned. Success isn't guaranteed. This is Ryaho and the Minasu clan, their sword style rivals my wicked wind style. Remember, Ryaho isn't the only one that knows it, everyone in the compound does. They may not rival my power, but he might to some degree. Anyway, we will discuss this in more detail tomorrow. Remember, we leave the day after tomorrow, Reikage reminded the group. Kuin decided to speak. Sir, I was wondering if maybe Kumoko here could confront Uzumaki. I mean, I know he can use the Minasu clan style, but it would be good to see as capable of, and not to mention she would see that she is no match. The Reikage stroked his chin. Okay, Kumoko, I will allow you to do this. I know you're not satisfied with the plan I have formulated and would rather kill Uzumaki, but I'm looking out for the safety of my soldiers. I'm going to need all the manpower I can get if I wish to crush the Leaf. Well, if that is all, you guys are dismissed. Also, if you see Doc Roba, let those 2 guys know that they are also coming on this mission as well. I think appearing with my 5 best ninjas will show our village's superiority. They all nodded and then proceeded out of the room. The Raikage leant back in his chair, counting the days until the meeting in mist. 9 a.m. Konoha the next day, Naruto and everyone else arrived quickly at the hospital. Naruto, along with everyone else, escorted an unconscious Hinata to the hospital. Tsunade and Shizune, who awaited T return, had them rush Hinata to the ICU wing. After escorting her to the hospital, Naruto, along with Sasuke and the Sand Trio left. Tsunade was informed of Naruto's plan. She knew why he did it, but she was going to find out when she got him alone. When Tsunade reached the room with a Shizune and a medical staff in tow, she informed everyone Th and Shizune alone would be handling this case personally. She also informed them that nobody besides her or Shizune is to enter the room. Tenten, Lee, Shino, Kiba, Neji, and Kurenai were waiting in the waiting room. After an hour or two of waiting, Tsunade, followed by Shizune and Tun Tun Not, who were not to F, looked at the group. Don't worry, she's just sleep. I checked her for poison and stuff of that nature. Kurenai gave a sigh of relief, while Tenten, Lee, Shino, Kiba, and Neji already knew what was up. Kurenai stood from her chair. Hokage-sama, can I go see her now? No, no one is to go see her but Shizune, is that understood? You will see her when she has fully recovered, the Hokage stated with a tone finality. Kurenai nodded in understanding. The silence was broken when they heard a voice. I heard that my pathetic excuse of a daughter was retrieved. Where is she? I wish to see H. Kiba looked at Hiashi with a look of hate. You won't go near her. All you're going to do is berate her and tell her how worthless she is. I won't let you do that. Hiashi, who was standing next to Hanabi, looked at Kiba and smirked. Dogs should stay in their place. That was Kiba needed before throwing himself at Hiashi. Kiba went to swing but Lee interfered and blocked his path. Kiba still with his eyes focused on Hiashi. What the hell are doing, Lee? Get out of my way so I can beat his. I'm sorry Kiba-kun, but you wouldn't stand a chance against Hiashi-sama. He isn't the head of the Hyuga for nothing, you know. Besides, this isn't the place. We're here to support to Hinata, not start a fight. Lee said in hopes it would calm Kiba down. Kiba let out a grunt then walked away. Lee went back to sit next to Tenten. Hiashi looked at Tsunade. Well, can I see her? Number? She said flatly. His eyes narrowed. What do you mean no? I mean you're not going to see her. You will see her like everyone else when she has recovered fully. I don't care if you're her father or the head of the Hyuga, I said no until that. Tsunade told the Hiashi. Hanabi looked at Tsunade with worried eyes. Hokage-sama, is Hinata okay? Yes, she will be from what I can tell. Just we use cookie her time to recover. Hanabi was now breathing a sigh of relief. Hiashi motioned for Hanabi to follow. I.e. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except Tsunade looked at the group. I think you guys should leave. Besides, I expect you all in my office in the next hour. I will be going over the duties while I'm gone, okay? They all know Tsunade, followed by Shizune and Tun Tun left. At the hotel, Naruto knew he had to meet Tsunade in her office in an hour. She informed him and everyone else before they left. Naruto was glad to be back with her with Yumi. Naruto was around the room for Yumi, but couldn't find her anywhere. So he decided to go next door where Mai was staying. Naruto knocked on the door and Mai opened up. Upon entering he saw Yumi, and Jiraiya. So what are you guys doing in Mai-san's room? Well, we're just relaxing. We just came back from breakfast, Jiraiya treated surprisingly. Yumi informed Naruto. You have money to pay for their breakfast. What about that money you owe me from the time we went looking for Obaa-chan, huh? Naruto asked. Jiraiya put his hand to his chin as he was thinking, what money? Naruto was about to choke his sensei, but Jiraiya looked at him with a serious expression. How did it go? Naruto looked at his sensei. It went okay. She'll probably be asleep for a couple more days. She woke up when we were in river country but fell back to sleep soon after. Yui when Gamakichi informed Tsunade, I presume. Yes, I was. Naruto, take a walk with me. We need to talk. Jiraiya stood up and walked to the door. I just got back, and during my time in this village I haven't really spent any time with Yumi. Naruto told Jiraiya with an expression on his face that displayed his unhappiness. Tough. If you wanted to spend time with her, then you should have never decided to get involved in this conflict. Besides, Yumi isn't going anywhere, you'll have the rest of the day spend with her. Naruto thought about what he said. Okay, I have to meet Tsunade in an hour so we can walk and talk on the way there. Both of the men exited the Mai's room. Naruto, you should really watch out for Yumi and Mai. When I took them to lunch, I saw the looks that they got from the villagers that know about the Kyuubi inside of you. Now look after them as much as I can while you're gone, but I can't always keep an eye on them. I have other matters to tend to. I thought I should let you know. Naruto absorbed every word. I'm aware that some idiot will try something while I'm gone. Don't worry, Ero Sennin, I will figure out what to do. Thanks for informing me. Jiraiya and Naruto walked in silence. Jiraiya glanced at Naruto. Should I tell him now? No, it isn't the right time. I will tell him when he gets back from his mission. Yes, Mian will sit down and tell him. He's old enough and strong enough now to ward off the enemies you may have made Arashi. We will tell him soon, he deserves to know. Naruto and Jiraiya arrived at the building. Jiraiya looked Naruto. You have at least another 40 minutes, what's the rush? There's no rush. It doesn't make sense to go back and see Yumi, so I'll go upstairs and wait. You coming? Naruto asked. No, I actually have to go and take care of that business I was talking about. Later, Jiraiya disappeared in a poof of smoke. Naruto wondered what he had to deal with but just it of and went upstairs. 30 minutes later, Naruto sat in Tsunade's office by himself just waiting. The first person that walked in was Shizune. She was startled by Naruto. Oh Naruto-kun, you scared me. I wasn't expecting anyone to be in here, you know. Shizune Nichan, where is Obaa-chan? I thought we were to meet her in here. Shouldn't she be early? Naruto asked the medic Nin. She usually comes just on time. I'm just here setting things up. I know it's not your job, but would you mind helping me? Naruto shook his head and got up to help Shizune pee around the room. During those 10 minutes, a number of Junins filed into the room. Tsunade came in with Kaharu and Homura. They all sat on the mats placed around the room. Tsunade began, okay everyone, I will be giving out you assignments while I'm gone. I expect all of the Junins to be stationed over the village in critical areas. Have sent notice informing Chunins of their tasks, which will be to patrol the village. If they see something suspicious, they are to report to the Junins stationed in that sector. As for the Genin instructor, will give them the orders to watch over the hospital, the ninja academy, and the civilians. Ibiki, you are to inform all Anbu members that they are to patrol the outside village. If a sneak attack comes while I'm gone, I want to show that our village will not fall even in my absences. Kurenai raised her head to speak. Are you going to divide the Junins in squads or what? Everyone has shifts. When the Genins go off duty for the night, and I expect my Junins to pick up their slack. However, you will be divided into groups. The group placements pamphlet that Shizune is passing around. This was designed in accordance to your skills and how well you work with one another. Tsunade answered the Junin. Another Junin raised his hand. Hokage-sama, why are we doing a 5-hour rotation instead of an 8? I thought it would be obvious. It's because, the door to the room busted open revealing Kakashi, Raida, Yamato, Sai and Aoba. Tsunade looked at Kakashi. What is the meaning of this, Kakashi? Tsunade-sama, you're never going to guess what we saw on our mission. Kakashi said. I don't have time for this now, Kakashi. You interrupting a very important, it was a phoenix. Tsunade, Shizune, Kurenai, Guy, Asuma, and just about all of the Junins who were old enough to remember the Third Great Shinobi War went wide-eyed. Junins started whispering to themselves. Kaharu spoke. Quiet. Everyone went into a deep silence. She focused on Kakashi. Are you sure it was a phoenix, Kakashi? Yes, I'm 100% sure. Sasuke looked at Kakashi. What's the big deal about seeing a phoenix? Kakashi looked at Sasuke. A phoenix is not common. The only way to see a phoenix is, if someone has the contract, Tsunade concluded, turning everyone's attention to her. A phoenix contract? How come I never heard of it? Naruto asked. It's a rare contract. The phoenix contract and the dragon contract are the two summoning contracts of legend. Their contracts are greater than the snake, the toad, the slug, a monkey contracts. It is said that they are equal in power, but to get either one of these contracts one has to go through certain trials. But first you must find the caves to their order to go through the trials. Like the snake contract that Sasuke and Anko have, the holders of these contracts are also granted swords. These swords, like the Kusanagi, is of the four swords of legend. There is the dragon's fang, the phoenix's claw, grass cutter Kusanagi, and heaven's blade. Naruto, I'm sure you have seen the heaven's blade. Yes, but Ryaho sensei never uses it. Naruto informed TK Tsunade. Wise. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except a Junin raised her hand, so that means Anko has the grass cutter, right? Anko answered, no I don't, Sasuke does. Even though I had the contract before him, Manda is the one that decides who is fit to wield the grass cutter, and he chose Sasuke b he is stronger. Kurenai stood up. Kakashi, did you by any chance see someone riding the phoenix? Kurenai asked with hope in her eyes. No, Kakashi answered. Kurenai ran out of the room. Asuma was about to go after her when Kakashi placed a hand on his shoulder and just shook his head. Tsunade stood up. Everyone has their assignments, this meeting is done. Tsunade hurried out of the office and headed to her personal office. Shizune, with soft eyes, looked at Tsunade, while Tun was in her arms. Tun looked up to Shizune. Bui. Shizune looked down at Tun then back at where the exit Tsunade left through. I know, but I think she should be alone right now. Come on Tun. Let's look for Kur. Asuma walked up to Shizune. All with you. Kakashi walked up next to her too. Well, seeing as I don't have anything better to do, I guess I will help you look for her as well. In the Hokage's office, Tsunade was sitting in her chair looking at her pictures. She looked at the picture that her Naruto, Jiraiya, and Shizune took on their way back to the leaf. She then looked at with her Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Sandaime. Good times, she thought. Then next picture she looked at was a younger her with her brother Naoki. The next picture she came her, Dan, a 4-year-old Shizune, and a boy about the same age with black spiky hair that stopped at his cheek. Think of Gundam Wing's hero Yui, hairstyle. His eyes bared a street resemblance of hers. Tsunade closed her eyes. Tears slid down her cheeks hitting the picture. Somewhere in the village, Naruto was curious about Tsunade and Kurenai's actions. He knew that Kakashi, Shizune or Asuma knew something, so he decided to follow them. Kakashi stopped. Naruto, if something you can just come and ask, you don't need to stalk around. Naruto appeared in front of Kakashi. Something is up, what is it that I missed? Kakashi looked at Asuma who looked away. He then looked at Shizune who looked at the grow. Kakashi turned his head back to Naruto. It's complicated, Naruto. I think Shizune and Asuma can tell the story better than I can. Naruto looked at Shizune. Shizune Nichan, what's going on? Why did Oba-chan seem sad, and why did Kurenai run out of the meeting? Well, Naruto, you remember the story I told you about how Tsunade's brother and my uncle were killed because of the necklace? Well, those two weren't the only ones that that necklace. Shizune explained. Naruto looking at her slightly confused. What do you mean those weren't the only people that she lost to the necklace? Who was the other person? Her son. Time around Naruto stopped when he heard what Shizune said. Shizune gathered herself then continue. You see Naruto, Tsunade-sama and my uncle Dan had a son, his name Senzairu. Not many people know that, well not the younger generation anyway because he died 18 years ago. He was the reason why Tsunade left the village. When uncle died sad beyond belief. But, my cousin and I filled the void, he more so than I because he was her child. Oh, so that explains Obaa-chan, what about Kurenai? Naruto asked. He was on our team. Asuma answered. He pulled out a cigarette, lit it and took a long as he closed his eyes. He blew out the smoke and continued, you see Kurenai, Shizune Senzairu, and myself all graduated the academy at 9. We weren't the best students, but we weren't the worst either. Senzairu, Kurenai, and I were placed on the same genie. It's funny when I look back at how much he liked Kurenai back then but she ignored him or treated him badly. History does repeats itself in a sense. However, when we were on a mission. Kurenai was in danger, I was low on chakra, and somehow Senzairu saved her. He gave this ninja a big monologue about how he would protect her with his such. I never did remember that speech. That was the turn point of their relationship. Kurenai and he were joined at the hip. Oh I see, he has the Phoenix contract doesn't he? Naruto asked. Yes. No one knows where he got it, but all I remember is him requesting for some time off. This was when he was 12. He was missing for about 2, how many weeks Shizune? 3 weeks, 5 days, 4 hours, 22 minutes, 11 seconds. Everyone gave her a weird look. What? That's what Tsunade kept saying while she scolded him in the hospital. Asuma slowly turned away from Shizune. Okay, anyway, he was missing for 3 weeks. But he came back bruised and injured. Turns out that he has the Phoenix contract, with nothing more than a bedtime story that ninja told their kids. Asuma continued, over the next year, we took the Chunin exams and passed at the age of 13. Senzairu's skill was rising, some say that he was on his way to becoming a Jun might possibly pass the Sannin. In fact, he turned down Anbu numerous times. His chakra control and taijutsu were excellent, benefits of being a Sannin, who was a medic ninja ninjutsu was excellent, and his genjutsu was fairly decent, but nothing like Kurenai who was an expert in it. During the next 2 years his relation with Kurenai developed, it was puppy love. Those two actually loved each other. During this time we also fought in the Third Great Shinobi War. The funny thing about war is that you always lose something. Clu. Shizune lost a cousin, Kakashi and I lost our best friend, and Kurenai a lover, and Tsunade a son. So how did he die? Naruto finally asked the dreaded question. Shizune spoke up, Asuma, Kurenai, Genma, and Shikaku, Asuma's, Kurenai's, and Senzairu's Junin instructor. We were placed on their squad for support, me as the medic and for his physical skills. We had a mission that brought us near Lightning Country. We were confronted by a couple of nins from Cloud. We was fighting for our lives. Shikaku was fending of a Junin, while we were stuck taking on the other 3 nins. We took down 2 nins at the cost of injury. Kurenai, Genma, Asuma, and I were out of the fight. Senna, good as he was up against a nin who seemed to have more experience. But Senzairu did a move that he was working on in secret to ensure our survival. Flashback at a grassy field, 2 warriors stood about to face off. The younger kid looked tired, like he was doing all he could to stand. The slightly older man was panting, but he wasn't as the kid. The Cloud Nin looked at the kid, it's over, it ends here. Senzairu closed his eye and smiled, either way, it does end here. Senzairu brought his hands together with only the index fingers pointing upward. Shizune, Kurenai, and Genma were on the ground behind him. He turned his head and looked Shizune. Shizune, tell Kasen that I'm sorry, I had to do this. Asuma, take care of Kurenai for me. Kurenai, I want you to know that I'm doing this for you. Remember that ISW protect you. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Goodbye, everyone. Senzairu disappeared from sight and was in the air. The Cloud Nin looked up to see the boy in front high above him was glowing white. The light was shining so bright it looked angel from come down from the heavens. Before the Cloud Nin could react, the kanji of death appear on his chest. Senzairu, who had his eyes closed throughout the whole prose, suddenly, he then shouted, Angel of Death. Everything in the immediate area was covered by a blinding white light. The light died down after 5 minutes, it took everyone a while to see clearly. Kurenai, despite the pain legs, stood up. Senzairu. 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 Asuma slowly walked up to her and put a hand on her shoulder. Kurenai, he's gone. He's not gone. It's just one of his sick jokes. He'll come out any minute, you'll see, you'll see. She fell to the ground and broke down crying. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies, and privacy policies. Except Shizune was crying hysterically. Genma went to comfort her. Shikaku walked back to the group. His fight was over, the nin he was fighting faded with the light. He looked at his and saw Senzairu missing. Genma, who was holding a crying Shizune in his arms, looked at Shikaku and shook his head. Shikaku looked at the ground when a gleam in the gra his eye. He walked to the spot to find the Shadime's necklace. He put it in his pocket. He was not looking forward to telling Tsunade that her son was dead. He didn't tell the Tay come on, he let them stay there and mourn the loss of a friend and a teammate. End of flashback. So he sacrificed himself for you guys? Naruto asked. Yes, that's why his name is on the memory stone. When Tsunade got the news, she immediately left the village. I followed her as well. I loved my home, but it was hard stay in place that was a constant reminder. Shizune told Naruto. Kakashi spoke. I doubt that another person has found the Phoenix Lair. I didn't want to give Tsunade or Kurenai false hope, but I didn't think it would be right to hide what I saw. This is very enlightening. I will be going, thanks for the info guys. Naruto disappeared. Kakashi looked at Asuma and Shizune. Let's find Kurenai. They nodded and continue walking. In another part of town, Genma was telling a similar story to Guy and his squad, and the group from the Rookie 9, excluding Naruto and Hinata. She never said anything. Sakura said, feeling bad for her sensei. No, it's a touchy subject for her and Shizune. But if what radio, Kakashi, Yamato and Sai saw is true, then either he's alive, which is impossible, or someone else has the counter. Genma replied. Why is it so hard to believe that he might be alive? Sasuke asked. You're a Junin, take a look at the technique called Angel of Death in the scroll library. It's an S-rank jutsu that is hard to perform. The technique is a self-sacrificing jutsu. But it will take out anyone once it locks on the target. There is no escaping it and no way of surviving it. Genma said so Sasuke would understand. What do you think is going to happen now? Neji asked. I don't know, I guess the truth will come to light. We'll find out soon enough if he's dead or if he's alive. That will determine whether there is a new user of the contract. Him. Guy was a bit skeptical about Senzairu being dead. They never did recover the body. But the technique is believed to erase the person from existence. I don't know, something me that he is alive. But it's like Genma said, we will find out soon enough. Minashu compound in Sea Country, Ryaho was outside in the back with Hayami. They were practicing with wooden swords. Hayami lose balance when she went to swing at her father. He sidestepped, then tripped, fell to the ground face first. He put the wooden sword to her neck. Hayami, that makes the 3rd time today you would have been killed. You're getting better, but your footwork needs fine-tuning. He extended his Han.